Well, welcome back everybody then to the Haas career mode in Motorsport Manager and in the Fire mod. And I thought we'd get the second episode out relatively promptly. Great response to episode 1. I'm glad you guys are enjoying it. And I'm really looking forward to trying to get this team up and running and push them to the front of the grid. It's going to take a while, no doubt, but it was a fairly okay opening result. I think the last stint of the last race really wasn't representative of the rest of our race. I feel we were on the cusp of maybe getting a point or two for most of the race, and then the last stint we just didn't quite get it right. So 14th and 16th isn't a bad start and is fairly, representative of where Haas are in the championship this year anyway. So we're going to get going. Quite a few comments about how much we, to watch out what we're spending, because we'll need a lot of money for next year. So it was recommended that we go to other teams and look at their suppliers and then see how much we might need to spend. So one quite cool thing, which it makes sense, but it's a nice little touch that it's in here. Obviously, someone like Mercedes, they're using their own engines, so they're only having to pay 13 million for their engines. Whereas if you go to, for say, Williams, who are having to buy them off, they're having to pay 10 million more because they're not developing the engines themselves. So it actually means that a lot of the front teams are around about 60 million in their budget. Renault very low, for whatever reason. But as you get towards the back of the grid, the cost actually goes up of running the team. McLaren aren't too bad. We're actually paying the most of anybody, 74 million, to make our cars. Presumably because we're having to spend so much money getting the engines from Ferrari. 37 million pounds a year for engines. So we need to make sure we save quite a bit. At the moment we are putting away 900,000 per race. So that will leave us with just probably about 14 million by the end of the year. Prize money, I can't remember how we find out prize money. Prize fund is 300 million. Does that tell you? I don't know how much we get for each position. But we're going to have to make sure we got some money away. So we don't want to spend everything. But we'll just bear that in mind. Obviously it's early season. We still want to develop the car at the moment. But we won't go crazy. We want to keep the income per race nice and high. So we'll aim to do that anyway. But for the moment, I'm happy to keep developing the car, and then we'll just bring the budget down and save towards the end of the season as we need to. So, not much here. Pit crew reviews. This is a new thing. One mistake. Luckily, it wasn't particularly dangerous. I've conducted an after-action report with Cecilia Solis about their mistake, but feel free to take matters into your own hands. Okay, well, look, we're going to let them get away with one mistake. That's fine. We'll see how that one pit crew member goes in the future. So we finished scouting Leclerc. I wanted to clarify something. The mod maker did come into one of my streams and has made a few comments on these videos. And I've talked to him about this 5-star potential. It's not a bug. Basically, every driver has the potential to get to 5 stars, and same with developers and race mechanics. But the rate in which they increase is greatly slowed down. So it's not a bug, that's just a, something the mod maker felt like the game needed. So that's what it is. Just wanted to clarify that. Because apparently he hates fake news. Don't we all nowadays? So I understand that completely. Pit crew. I'm fairly okay with the same crew at the moment. Say if mistakes start to slip in further down the line, then we can make changes there. So I think we were all in pretty much in agreement that we're going to upgrade the factory. We've pretty much got 8 million now, so we're just going to go ahead and get that done, because we desperately need those new personnel to help develop the car as quickly as possible. And for now I think that's everything, so let's continue forward and then we can start to work on the car after the repairs are finished, which they are. And we can work on improving parts then. So we're going to continue to improve those brakes till they get to maximum. The gearbox is now nice and high, so I think we're now going to go back to the engine. I just want those two to be as high as possible. don't know why this slider keeps changing. It does it constantly for almost no reason. It's really annoying because if you don't watch it, all of a sudden everybody's working on performance rather than reliability when you've got both selected. Crazy times. Right, we've got new brakes on the way. They'll be here in 10 days, so not quite in time for the next race in Beijing. Obviously, with a championship that has so many rounds in it, it's very difficult to get parts done in between, especially with the resources and the personnel we've got at the moment. Yeah, right, Gene. Cool it, buddy. Your baby's safe with me. Don't worry. I really don't think there's anything else we're going to do. Yeah, we're ready for the race then. So, once again, I'm going to take 6 of super soft and soft and 3 of medium. It's just generally a good strategy I've found. Going to see quite a bit of rain in qualifying the race, so that'll be pretty interesting. Hopefully we can get the most out of that strategy. Sponsor selects. We've actually got all fixed sponsors, haven't we? So, none to select for bonuses. Which is actually quite a good thing, because it means that we get the same prize money no matter where we finish per race. Probably do miss out a bit overall, but generally not a problem. I think we're ready to go then. So I shall get practice done, and I shall be back with you for the second qualifying of the year. Okay, we're into qualifying then for round number 2. And practice was okay, 95% for both cars. A dry and a wet session, and thanks to the fact that the practice sessions are so much longer in the top division and in the Formula 1 version of this mod, it meant that we'd got everything done. We got maximum race trim, maximum qualifying, maximum on inters and maximum on super softs. So fairly confident with the race. Hopefully we can qualify somewhere towards on the fringes of the top 10. I think between 10th and sort of 12th or 13th I'd be happy with. It does look like it's going to dry out later in the session, but it doesn't hurt to get a lap in on the intermediates, just in case we can't get out at the right time. No real changes to our car apart from a small improvement to the brakes and the reliability of a few parts, so I don't know how we're going to do. We obviously qualified really well last time, so we'll have to wait and see how our drivers can do. You would expect Grosjean to be a little bit better than Magnussen, as that is the case in IRL, but we don't know. We don't know. And of course, cars can be very different on different circuits. But Grosjean crosses the line then on his opening lap. It's a 1:18.8, and K-Mag coming up to the line now does a 1:21.2. So 0.4 of a second between the two of them. Time's looking okay. I expect to hopefully be with people like Van Dorn and Stroll, so until we get the Saubers in, Massa actually splits our two cars, so we're looking fairly competitive. So we need to get them both back in ASAP, and then hopefully we can get them out for a run on some dry tyres. It doesn't look like it's going to rain again at the end of the session, but of course you never really want to risk being out there too late if some more rain does start to fall. So Marcus Ericsson and Sauber has gone 12th. We've got Alonso and Massa between our two drivers, and Verline's gone 19th. That's a crazy lap from Ericsson, and a very small spread. That's the only thing, is the spread of the times for the cars is a little unrealistic in comparison. There is going to be rain right at the end of the session, so we need to get out there right now to make sure we can get a lap in on the dry tyres. This might be our chance. There's going to be a little bit of rain right on the last lap. Some cars that went out very late to do those runs on the intermediates may not get out to do a proper lap, so that might get us a couple more positions, but I'd expect a big old improvement on the super softs, obviously, going from intermediates to super softs. Would have liked to lift it a little bit later, but again, we just want to avoid that last minute rain. So K-Mag looking on form in comparison to Grosjean at the moment. But that wasn't reflected in his times, bizarrely. But then it's all about tyre temps as well. And I don't really have enough experience yet to know how much this form thing actually affects the drivers. Obviously that's a percentage of their maximum form for that driver. So you could have a terrible driver with a form of 10 and a really good driver with a form of 2, and I presume the good driver should still be generally better, just not performing to their max. But K-Mag looking pretty strong at the moment in terms of how he's feeling out there, and not surprisingly is currently going fastest, lighting up the track with those purples. Grosjean going about a tenth quicker though, so Magnussen a long way up now. But it doesn't look like everyone's going to get a lap in on Supersoft, so we'll have to see. Magnussen goes top then with an 18.4, and Grosjean, as he comes up to the line, slower, much slower. So maybe this form is having a big impact. Half a second between the pair of them, as Alonso improves only to a 1:19.9. Nobody's going quicker yet. I'm sure that will change. Final minute of the session. Lots of guys on the hot laps now, but here comes the rain again. This could be magical. Please, please, no one go quicker. This would be an unbelievable result. Raikkonen only goes P3. Oh, Vettel split the two cars. Vettel has split us. Perez goes P1. The dream is dead, boys. The dream is dead. But still, Bottas goes third. Still not quicker than K-Mag though. Verstappen goes 5th. Hamilton comes in with an incredible 1:18.2 to go fastest. Who have we got left? Nobody. That's everybody. So it's P3 and P7. And once again, being out on the track at the right moment really does make a big difference. And Kevin Magnussen's going to be starting on the second row of the grid. He's going to have to do an incredible job to stay there, but it's as good a place to start as any, that's for sure. So what was surprising was the couple of cars that got a lap in just after us were a lot slower, and the guys that actually were around us and quicker were setting it whilst there was rain on the track. But hey ho. It's a massive difference between Kevin Magnussen and Roman Grosjean though. 0.6 of a second, and Roman really didn't put in the proper lap there. But still, P3 and P7, great qualifying session indeed. And hopefully we can race to some decent points. Well, just any points. A point. A point is the aim, boys. I'm not under no illusions. This is still going to be tough. Right, we'll go super soft and race trim. Yeah, we're going to have rain later in the session then. Around about lap 13, 14. So how far are these tyres going to go? 7 or 9? It might be a good idea here to start on the mediums and get to that rain without making a stop. I think that's going to be the answer. We're going to be slow off the line and slow in the first stint. If we can buy ourselves a pit stop, considering we're starting so far forward as well, then I think it's worth a punt with both cars. We could split strategies, but I think we just go for it. I really do. And we're going to absolutely go for it off the grid. Bottas with a little injury there. Dodgy neck. Shouldn't be racing them. Getting on old George Russell. We need another British driver coming up. Right, we're underway then for round number 2. K-Mag starting from the lofty position of P3. and holds P3 into turn 1. Grosjean up to 5th then. And you can see Hamilton, Perez going wheel to wheel there. Still side by side. And Hamilton gets that move done and Magnussen follows him through into P2. And Grosjean is battling right up there with everybody as well. This is a cracking start. So need to make sure we don't go too high on the hard on the tyres. We will have to turn the engine down shortly. Let's just see if we can make a little break from this group. I'll go up to 2 times speed now. And I think now we go back to high engine mode. And just wait for those tyres to come up a little more. We've got boosts now. We may as well use them. As everyone else is. Don't want to react too late like we did last time when Grosjean's already lost a couple of positions. But he's recovered them. He's back up to 5th. And Magnussen's still nicely in 3rd. Right, we'll go back to neutral. And medium. Just settle into this race now. Magnussen leading. He's just taken Hamilton and Perez. Unbelievable from K-Mag. And Grosjean running well in 4th at the moment. And this is looking good. We're showing good pace. We're right up there with everybody else. And everybody around us is on the super softs. So if we can stay up here with these guys, we might not have to stop when the rain comes. In which case we'll be an entire pit stop ahead. But we'll see. A long way to go yet. And there's actually Hamilton looking after his super softs very well at the moment. And our 2 drivers go wheel to wheel then. Grosjean loses out, complaining over the radio. Romain Grosjean moaning on the radio. Never heard such complete and utter rubbish. Okay, so 2 Mercedes have taken over at the top. Bottas has come back through the field. Perez is between our 2 drivers. He's trying to get past Magnussen now. We've got the 2 Ferraris behind us, who are surely going to be looking to make their way through in the next lap or 2. Grosjean coming under heavy pressure from them now. There goes Perez. That's understandable. Everybody else seems to be just getting their footing in this race now. And we're going to have to just defend as well as we can. Remember, we're racing for points here. Just want to get some points on the board this race. As Grosjean gets swamped now by the other Ferrari of Raikkonen. And I'm sure he's going to find his way past Magnussen pretty soon as well. I'm just going to use that little boost from both our drivers. Just give Magnussen that breathing room so that when Raikkonen goes past he doesn't lose another position. And same with Grosjean. He's got the 2 Williams now behind him. So they're 2 by 2 apart from Perez. And then come the 2 Red Bulls actually. So there's a lot of competition for points, let's not forget that. And if there's no retirements, we're always going to struggle to get points on pace, but we stand a good chance here. So 7 laps down, tyres holding well at 57%. Those on the super softs, really quite a way below us. Other medium tyre runners will be dangerous, Ricciardo, Verline, Ocon, Alonso. Hamilton is looking after his tyres so well at the moment. That's the other danger. But to be honest, we're not racing Hamilton. I think even if we got a pit stop on Hamilton, he'd still catch us back up. Close race going on at the head of the field. As Hamilton and Bottas have now made almost a 5-second gap. 6-second gap. Between them and the rest of the field. So Kimi's now got past Magnussen. Grosjean coming under pressure now from Massa. Stroll has made a stop already, so Stroll and Verstappen already have stopped. So we've already got a pit stop on those guys. So everything looking good at the moment. Magnussen definitely looking the better of our 2 drivers. He's gapped Grosjean nicely, but Grosjean is battling hard here to try and stay ahead of Massa. It shouldn't matter though, because Massa's going to have to pit, I would imagine, before the rain comes. Perez and Vettel in now for a stop. and coming back out in 11th and 12th place respectively. So they're not too far ahead of us, behind us even. So it will get us a pit stop on these guys, but it's, you know, they're not going to be far behind. The quicker cars will come back through easily enough. As Bottas now gets past. Oh, he's made a stop as well. So the two Mercedes have made a stop, and they're still at the head of the field. Such is their pace advantage today. Oh, how... Tyres, why do you not last? And why... Yeah, the rain's still not coming. This is a bit of a worry now, because we're really going to start losing pace in the next couple of laps. Just have to hold on. We hold on long enough. Grosjean has overtaken Ricciardo. Oh, it was the warm tyres, that's why it slowed down. I was like, I haven't done that before. Yeah, so we're into the 20s now. 29%. We're going to be slow, but I think we've got to do it now. We've got to hang on, because if we don't, we're going to be a stop down. Well, we're going to be sent to pretty much the back of the field. And have no time to use the fresh tyres, because that rain is coming, make no doubt about it. It's only going to be a short stint, by the look of it. It's going to be drying off again towards the end of the race, so probably just a quick stint on the inters. We need it quicker. We need that rain. See, this is what irritates me. Let's go back to normal speed while I take a look at this. Like, we're on lap 13. And 15's like... I can't actually hold it up, so... But 15's much further up that gap between 10 and 20. Oh, mind you, here comes the rain. Right, Magnussen coming first then, for a set of intermediates. Car looking okay. Won't put any charge in. And then Grosjean will have to do one more lap, unfortunately. Actually, if we can get him in, I might be a bit late. Because we should only take about 3 seconds to make a stop. Magnussen out, Grosjean in. So there's a 3-second stop for both guys. Good job from the crew. Double stops them and gets them back out into the race again. Right, we're going to use a bit of fuel now. It's going to take a few laps for these inters to come in. But we had no choice really, because we were really low on tyre life, and the amount of time we would have lost driving around on about 10% tyres wouldn't have been worth it. Right, Magnussen though is making his way back through the field. It's the only problem, we can't use these tyres too well because of the traffic. But we're definitely quicker, not much, but we're definitely quicker. Well, I say that. Stroll's just gone, Verstappen's just gone clean around the outside of us there, but we're ahead of all the interstoppers at the moment. Let's push a little bit, just to try and, I think a lot of people are going to be stopping this lap, so I'm going to go overtake mode, and we're going to try and get out of this traffic and get moving. Because this is our chance to jump people. Get ourselves back out into that clean air. If we can get back out in 3rd and 4th, which is not far-fetched actually, we could do that. That would be the aim, and then we're clear of this midfield battle, and we can just run our own race. Everybody's still staying out. We've got Ricciardo in, so do we jump Ricciardo? I think Magnussen's going to. Grosjean doesn't, gets out just behind. So we're going to struggle to jump Vettel. We might well jump Perez and Raikkonen. We should probably go back to neutral and high now. So these guys are staying out a lot longer than I thought they would. And also we've got to make these tyres last to about lap 30, which we're going to struggle to do. So unfortunately we did burn them up a little bit, being on a bit too dry a track. This is a real scrap going on with Magnussen and the midfield, and this is really holding us up. This is not doing us any favours As Magnussen tries to go around the outside of Ricciardo, and he's having a go down the main straight. He's on the outside though, but he'll be on the inside for turn 2 if he can stick it. And stays just behind. So 8th and 9th now. Top 6 still yet to stop. Bizarre. So we're definitely going to be nicely into the points when this shakes out. And we've still got one wet to dry change to come. But I'm a little worried about whether we can do the distance. That's one thing these guys are going to have to their advantage. They're going to have fresher tyres and they're definitely going to make it to the dry weather. Are we going to have to stop again? It's possible. Are these guys trying to hang it out maybe? The front 6. It's incredible that they're even still on the track. As we just swoop past Alonso now then. And that's another position gained. Still battling hard with Ricciardo. Alonso's actually disappeared up the road. His tyres are dead. This is hurting us. We don't want to be fighting with Ricciardo. We want Ricciardo to get on with it so we can just follow him. And finally, we get past Alonso along with Ricciardo. And hopefully Ricciardo can get on with it a bit now. Why are they not pitting? I mean, I'm not complaining, but this is very strange. Very strange. We're quicker, but not quick enough. Just use that little boost and see if we can get past that Ferrari as quickly as possible. So again, Grosjean trying to go on the outside of Ricciardo. Magnussen's through now as well. Next up, Sergio Perez. If we can make these tyres last, we're a pit stop ahead here. And we're in the net 2nd and 3rd. Well, actually no, Hamilton has disappeared, as has Bottas. So maybe 4th and 5th. As Ricciardo now gets past Perez way before turn 1. And Magnussen gets back past Grosjean. And our 2 cars scrapping a little bit here. This isn't what we need because there's a right old train behind us. And we could get swallowed up very quickly here. Stop fighting, boys. It's great racing, great for the TV cameras and the sponsors. It's not good for my heart rate or our chances of getting away from that pack. They're still fighting these two. It's a real ding-dong between these two Haas cars. Right, how's the engines looking? Not too bad. I'm going to save a bit of fuel for later on, though. We'll go back to medium now. Hopefully they don't get swallowed up by that pack. We've got Esteban Ocon on our tail. Ricciardo has finally broken away from us. Front 3 still to stop. And we're going to be up and passing Vettel soon. It's a very, very strange decision from those front guys. Tyres not looking great either. We're going to have to get another potentially 7 or 8 laps out of these tyres. I don't know that we can. Grosjean's holding people up here. I'm wondering if we make another stop. I think we're going to have to. I'm going to do it with 1 car just to cover ourselves. Just in case this strategy turns out to be wrong. Also gets them out of the way of Magnussen and stops them fighting. Yeah, I think we're going to have to do it. Alright. Well, we've done it. I don't know why I'm deliberating it still. Oh, there's a mistake on the front right. If that's the same person, they're gone. 3-second delay. Grosjean back out in 18th place then. It's not brilliant. At least he can attack on fresh tyres now. Magnussen. We pitted so much earlier than everybody else. This is our problem. Once again, we've got this strategy wrong. We're halfway through this wet stint at the moment. We're going to have to stop again. There's no way around it. The longer we wait, the less benefit we get from the fresh tyres as well. Alright, come on pit crew. You need to do a better job this time. Vettel's put another set of super softs on. So's Hamilton put another set of softs on. It's a very bizarre strategy from some people. And Magnussen gets back out just ahead of Grosjean then. I'm going to have to try and come back through the pack if we want points today. There's a lot of worn tyres ahead. A lot of people still on dry tyres. I'm going to keep an eye on Vettel and see how much time he loses. At the moment he's not losing time at all. I mean, he's not catching Kvyat ahead per se. But he's not losing time. So we maybe could have gone to dry tyres. But the rain is going to intensify again. We're overheating those tyres a little bit now. Let's go back to neutral on Grosjean's car. We just need to get through this traffic. Little boost there gets Magnussen past Carlos Sainz. And do the same for Grosjean to try and get him past. Oh, the boost has been used at the same time. Magnussen challenging Sainz, just taken the lot of us. How much charge did he have set up? Got a bloody Tesla supercharger in the back of that thing. Just disappeared past a lot of us. Still 15th, 16th, not able to make these tyres work. We need to get through as quick as possible. This is a very strange race. We're back on one speeders again. I forgot to turn it back up. I was wondering why it's taking a while. Right, K-Mag is now making his way past people. So we get past Vettel. So there's the answer. Vettel really struggling on those dry tyres, and a massive mistake from the AI, you've got to say. But the rain will be stopping soon, but we're already back up to 12th and 13th then. And if we get that cool to dry tyres spot on, then we could see ourselves back in the points here. Tyres overheating massively again. Presume because that rain is stopping now. Verline has just stopped for dry tyres. Let's come back out 12th. It's a cracking drive from the Sauber driver. That is going to be the next call, which tyres we put on to get to the end. Mediums look the most likely. A lot of people stopping for dry tyres now. And I think it is the time. I think we might have missed that boat. And it's going to have to be mediums to get to the end, but we only got 14 laps out of them the first time. Hopefully we'll be okay. Gap between our two drivers, just over 2 seconds. Right, K-Mag, you need to push now and overtake mode. So hopefully you can get a lap to Grosjean so that Grosjean can pit on the same lap. Yeah, I know they're overheated, buddy. That's why you're coming in. It's also a dry track if you hadn't noticed. Right, in we come. Hopefully there's enough of a gap between them. K-Mag in. Oh, there's a mistake. Oh, that's horrible. 6 seconds. 2 seconds mistake. Much better stop from Grosjean. 3 seconds. And we're back out into the race then. Right, we want to go medium and neutral. Actually, we can probably use a little bit of fuel. And we'll see once everything shakes out. Quite a few people still to pit yet. We're either side of Raikkonen. So we're in good company, but that doesn't necessarily mean we're in a good position for the race. K-Mag goes back up to 15th. Grosjean comes out behind Carlos Sainz then, and Raikkonen. This is going to be interesting. So we're going to come to a head at the end of the race. These strategies will start playing themselves out. Have we got it right? We don't know yet. We just don't know. A few more cars in the pits. Oh, K-Mag, you needed to beat Perez out the pits there. Perez outbraking us into turn 1. See what we can do about him. Not much. That forced injury is mighty. And everybody's really nailed to the wall now as to what tyres they're on. Everyone's made their stops. So it's looking like another disappointing result. Just can't read these strategies right at the moment. We're just eating our tyres up a little bit too quickly. And it's just not allowing us the flexibility in the strategy we need. It's all because we went so early onto the intermediates. Because we just couldn't make the mediums last. And we've just been fighting to get back up the field since then. Because we had to do 2 intermediate stops. And I don't see any opportunity to go forward here. I think Vettel might have to stop again. Maybe Kvyat. I don't even know that if they did pit again, they'd come out behind us. We'll keep pushing anyway. We've got a little bit of fuel to burn. Tyres should hold up, no problem at all. I'm wondering if we could have stretched it another lap or 2 and gone on to the softs. These mediums holding up a lot better than they did the first time we put them on. Right, Vettel's coming for a 3rd stop and is ahead of us, so that's not a position. K-Mag fighting hard with Carlos Sainz here, and Grosjean struggling to stay ahead of Pierre Gasly. Gasly on the super softs. If he holds him off though, he should start getting the advantage in terms of tyre life. Side by side there, Grosjean holding on nicely. So he's got some fighting spirit in him. Both of these guys have. We know that much. Just our calls on the pit wall today. Someone else in. Kvyat is in then. And we do jump Kvyat up to 12th. Grosjean doesn't jump him. We have a chance of some points maybe if Stroll and Hulkenberg have to pit again. I don't think Stroll will. Hulkenberg might have to, as Hamilton stops for a 3rd time. We've gapped Sainz behind now. Magnussen making good progress. Tyres looking okay. Fuel looking a little borderline. We can still push for a bit though. We're just going to use the boosts just to increase those gaps, and that gives Grosjean a little breathing space with Gasly as well. And we got Alonso ahead with trouble then. Hulkenberg did stop, by the way, but it wasn't enough to drop him back into our clutches. 5 laps to go, and we're so perilously close to the points. Stroll stopped. Stroll's made another stop, so Alonso ahead is a World Championship point for K-Mag. We need this desperately. Especially if Verline is in 9th, for goodness sake. That's Sauber somehow getting some points today, and that's really going to disadvantage us in terms of the championship. You would have thought Sauber were a slam dunk not to score points, but looks like they're going to get a couple here. And Kevin Magnussen needs to make that move on Alonso. Got to make it work, son. Grosjean's lost a bit of his front wing. Struggling to overtake Raikkonen, that's fair enough, to be fair. Defend there from Grosjean from Stroll. Alonso's moving away from us again. We've got Kvyat behind on super softs. Absolutely going for it. I don't think... Oh, we're in 10th. Who pitted? Verline made another stop. Down to 16th. We're in the points. Come on, K-Mag. Bring it home for us. I know you got worn tyres. There's really not anything I can do at this point. Grosjean up to 13th. Grosjean driving well at the moment. Making good progress. There's a chance he could get back up with Magnussen here. He's quick enough, although Grosjean's just lost the place again. He wants fresh tyres. Absolutely pointless, son. Final lap for the leaders. We've got about a lap and a half to go. Can Kevin Magnussen hold on? We really need to conserve these tyres to bring the tyre temps down again. We're running out of fuel as well to keep it in high mode. Let's bring those temps down. Could get a point here. Let's go back to normal speed as Hamilton takes, I think, his second win of the season. Oh, and K-Mag's so close. So close, some. A little bit of boost, come on. Oh, he's made the move, he's on the outside. He's hanging it around. He's in the outside for the left-hander, but he's going to make it stick, is he? Alonso's got a little bit of boost. Oh, Fernando saved up his boost. Saved up his energy. And just about crawled across the line ahead of K-Mag. Grosjean comes home in 13th then. It's a World Championship point for Magnussen. That was a great race. That really felt like a Formula 1 race. I know it's the same as the single-seater in terms of how the races play out, but just with everything. The drivers and, you know, seeing like a Sauber almost getting points and crazy strategies from people. That was great. That was great fun. I enjoyed that race. It's a well-earned point. I don't know that it will mean that much in the championship, but at least we're on the board. Lewis Hamilton gets a 10-second time penalty and still wins the race. Sounds about right. And we'll have a look at the table then. K-Mag moves up to P12 in the Drivers' Championship. Grosjean is 17th. And that 1 point means that we move a point ahead of Sauber. Unfortunately, those 2 points for Alonso mean that McLaren are just ahead of us. So the point doesn't mean as much, really, when you look at the table. But at least we're on the board. And these are the guys we need to be up with. Sort of Toro Rosso, Renault and Williams. We need to try and be on the tail end of them. We need to get ahead of McLaren at the very least. But it's a point. It's a really hard fought fight and point. And yet again, I feel we deserve more out of that race. I think we just got the strategy a little bit wrong here and there. Once again, every single car I seem to make in this game or take over has bad tyre wear. Whether it's how I'm looking after the tyres, I don't know. It's a nice money in the bank anyway. But all in all, we just want that first point. We know in Formula 1 and racing, in Formula 1 especially, how much of a bogey it can be to not have a point. And look, K-Mag's ahead of Verline, Gasly, Carlos Sainz, his teammates, Stroll, Ericsson, Van Dorn, all yet to score. So that's a well-earned point from K-Mag. And hopefully it's only up from there. It will encourage the boys back at home anyway. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. As always, keep your help and advice coming. It seems like a question I ask again and again and again. Tyre wear. Let's ask it slightly differently. Is it the car? Which we could take a look at now. Our tyre wear's only 4 stars. But that's not too bad, you would think. Or is it the way I'm looking after the car and the tyres and managing the heat and stuff? Which I think is the more likely scenario. But do let me know anyway. Keep your help and advice coming as always. I hope you enjoyed the episode. I'll get the normal single-seater series out in the next couple of days. Just fancied putting the Haas one out soon, as everybody seems to be enjoying it and there's a little bit of buzz around it. And of course there will be the Endurance Series live stream on Wednesday from around about 7 o'clock GMT. So as always guys, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your increase in support in the recent couple of weeks. It's really encouraging and I'm really enjoying it. We'll never doing all this kind of stuff. So as always, thank you so much for watching and I'll see you again next time.